Hi, and welcome to EFL USA. Before we start, close your eyes for just 3 seconds. Imagine this. You are standing at the checkout counter in a big American supermarket. The cashier looks at you and says again, "Your total is $42.17. But you look at your items and you know something is wrong. The price on the shelf said something different. Can you say that in English right now in 3 seconds without translating in your head first? If your answer is no, or if you're not sure, don't worry. That is exactly why you are here today. My name is Sarah, and I'm from EFL USA. Today, we are starting a brand new series called American Survival English for Beginners. This is not a class about grammar rules. This is not a class about perfect pronunciation. This is a class about real life. This is about the moments when you need English right now, not next week, not after you study a book for 3 months, right now. Today's topic is shopping and daily errands, because almost every single day you have to go somewhere and buy something, return something, or ask about something. And if you can't speak up in that moment, you can lose money, you can lose time, and you can lose your confidence. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what to say when something goes wrong at the store. You will know how to ask for a refund. You will know how to understand a receipt. You will know how to ask if something is on sale. And most importantly, you will practice saying these words out loud again and again until they feel natural in your mouth. So, grab a notebook if you have one, sit somewhere comfortable, and let's begin. Oh, and if this is your first time here, please subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss our daily practice videos. Now, let's go. I want to tell you a story. This story is about a woman named Maria. Maria moved to the United States 8 months ago. She came from a small town, and she is still learning English every single day. She is brave. She works hard. But sometimes, in daily situations, she feels stuck. Today, I want you to imagine you are walking next to Maria. Feel what she feels. Listen to what she says. And later, you will say the same words she says, so that next time you will be ready too. It was a Friday afternoon, and Maria needed to buy groceries for the weekend. She walked into a big supermarket near her apartment. The store was busy. People were pushing carts up and down the aisles. Maria picked up bread, milk, eggs, and a bag of rice. She also picked up a bottle of shampoo that had a big yellow sign above it. The sign said, "On sale. Buy one, get one free." Maria was happy. She thought, "Great, I'll save some money today." She picked up 2 bottles of the shampoo and put them in her cart. She continued shopping. She found the vegetables she needed. She found some chicken in the meat section. Finally, her cart was full, and she walked toward the checkout line. There were 3 lines open, and she chose the shortest one. While she waited, she felt good. She felt proud of herself, actually, because she was doing this all by herself, in English, in a new country. This is a small thing, But for someone learning a new language, going shopping alone and speaking to a cashier is a real achievement. When it was her turn, the cashier, a young man, started scanning her items one by one. Beep, beep, beep. Maria watched the screen, but the numbers moved too fast for her to really understand them. Finally, the cashier said, "Your total is $58.90. Maria felt a small shock inside her chest. That number felt too high. She had a rough idea in her head of how much everything should cost, and this was more than she expected. Now, here is the moment of risk. Here is the moment that decides everything. Does Maria stay quiet, pay the money, and walk away feeling confused and a little bit cheated? Or does she find the courage and the words to ask a question? This is the exact situation that most people in this comment section have felt before. That feeling of something is wrong, but I don't know how to say it. That feeling of your heart beating a little faster because you're not sure if you'll find the right words. Maria took a breath. She looked at the cashier and said, "Excuse me, can you check the price of this shampoo, please? I think it was on sale. Buy one, get one free." The cashier looked at his screen, then looked at the shelf sign in the picture on his system, and said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Let me check that." He called another worker over. There was a small line building up behind Maria, and she felt her face getting warm, but she stayed calm because she knew she was right, and she had the words to explain herself. Let's stop right here and practice the exact sentence Maria used, because this sentence can save you real money one day. Listen carefully. "Excuse me, can you check the price of this, please?" Now, shadow it with me. Say it out loud. Right now, exactly the way I say it. "Excuse me, can you check the price of this, please?" Good. One more time, a little faster. "Excuse me, can you check the price of this, please?" Perfect. That sentence works almost anywhere. At a store, at a pharmacy, at a restaurant. Keep it in your pocket, ready to use. The second worker looked at the system and said, "You're right. This item is buy one, get one free. I apologize for the mistake." He fixed the price on the screen, and Maria watched the total go down from $58.90 to $52 and something. She felt a wave of relief, not just because she saved almost $7, but because she spoke up in English in a real stressful moment, and it worked. The cashier finished ringing up her items and said, "Okay, your new total is $52.31. Will that be cash or card?" Maria said. "Card, please." She tapped her card on the machine, and a small paper came out of the printer. The cashier said, "Here's your receipt. Have a good day." Maria said, "Thank you, you too," and walked out of the store with her bags, feeling lighter than when she walked in, not just because of the groceries, but because of something bigger. Confidence. Now, what about you? Have you ever felt confused when you looked at a price at the store? Have you ever paid for something and later, at home, realized the price was wrong, but you didn't say anything because you didn't know how? Tell me in the comments below because you are not alone. And today, we are going to fix that. Together, let's slow down now and build your survival toolbox for shopping and daily errands. We are going to learn 5 important words and phrases, one at a time. For each one, I will say the word first. Then you will repeat after me. Then I will explain what it means in very simple English. Then I will give you an example. And then it will be your turn to make your own sentence. Ready? Let's start. Word number 1, receipt. Repeat after me. Receipt. Again. Receipt. A receipt is the small piece of paper the store gives you after you pay. It shows what you bought and how much you paid. For example, can I have a receipt, please? Another example, I need my receipt to return this item. Now it's your turn. Try to make a sentence using the word receipt. Say it out loud, even if it's a short sentence. Good job. Word number 2, refund. Repeat after me. Refund. Again. Refund. A refund means the store gives you your money back. This usually happens when you return something you don't want or something that doesn't work. For example, I would like a refund for this shirt, please. Another example, can I get a refund if I don't have the receipt? Now you try. Make your own sentence with the word refund. Take your time, don't rush. Even a small sentence is progress. Word number 3, aisle. Repeat after me. Aisle. Again. Aisle. This word can be tricky because of the spelling, but the sound is simple. Aisle. An aisle is the long path between the shelves in a store where you walk to find your items. For example, excuse me, which aisle has the rice? Another example, the milk is in aisle 5, next to the eggs. Now you try. Ask a question using the word aisle, just like you're really in a store looking for something. Word number 4, on sale. Repeat after me, on sale. Again, on sale. When something is on sale, it means the price is lower than usual for a short time. This is one of the most useful phrases for saving money in America. For example, is this jacket on sale this week? Another example, I bought this bag because it was on sale. Now, make your own sentence. Maybe you can say what item you would like to see on sale. Word number 5, expiration date. Repeat after me. Expiration date. Again, expiration date. This is a very important phrase, especially for food and medicine. The expiration date tells you the last day something is safe to eat or use. For example, can you check the expiration date on this milk, please? Another example, I always check the expiration date before I buy yogurt. Now you try. Practice asking about the expiration date of something you might buy this week. Great work. So far, you just learned 5 powerful words. Receipt, refund, aisle, on sale, and expiration date. But learning words alone is not enough. We need to put them together into real conversation, the same way Maria did at the checkout counter. So let's build a short conversation now, using all 5 words, and I want you to imagine you are the customer speaking directly to the worker at the store. Imagine you walk into the store and you can't find something. You say to a worker, "Excuse me, which aisle has the shampoo, please?" The worker says, "It's in aisle 7 on the left side." You say, "Thank you. Is it on sale this week?" The worker says, "Yes, buy one, get one free." You find the item and you go to checkout. You pay and you say, "Can I have my receipt, please?" The worker gives you the receipt. Later, at home, you realize the shampoo bottle is very close to its expiration date and you decide to return it. You go back to the store and say, "Excuse me, I would like a refund for this, please. It's almost at its expiration date." The worker checks your receipt and gives you your money back. Let's shadow that whole mini conversation together, one line at a time, slowly. Repeat after me. "Excuse me, which aisle has the shampoo, please?" Again, a little faster. "Excuse me, which aisle has the shampoo, please?" Next line. "Is it on sale this week?" Again. "Is it on sale this week?" Next line. "Can I have my receipt, please?" Again. "Can I have my receipt, please?" Last line. "I would like a refund for this, please." One more time, with confidence. "I would like a refund for this, please." Wonderful. You just practiced a full, real conversation, from finding an item to checking the price to returning it if needed. This is exactly the kind of English that helps you survive and thrive in daily American life. I want you to notice something important here. We are not learning big, complicated words today. We are not learning words like enormous or crucial or resilient. Those words are nice, but they will not help you at the checkout counter when your total looks wrong. What helps you is knowing exactly how to say, "Can you check the price of this, please?" That is survival English. That is the English that protects your money, your time, and your peace of mind. Let's go back to Maria for a moment, because her story isn't finished yet. Remember, she walked out of the store feeling proud. But 2 days later, on Sunday evening, she opened her refrigerator and she noticed something. The milk she bought on Friday smelled strange, even though it was only 2 days old. She checked the container and her heart sank a little. The expiration date on the bottle had already passed, 3 days before she even bought it. Somehow, it had been left on the shelf by mistake. Now, Maria had a choice again. Should she just throw the milk away and forget about it? Or should she go back to the store, find the receipt, and ask for a refund? This time, she remembered exactly what she needed to say, because she had practiced it in her mind many times that weekend. She found her receipt in her kitchen drawer, put the milk bottle back in its bag, and drove back to the same supermarket on Sunday night, just 30 minutes before closing time. When she walked in, the store felt different. At night, quieter, with fewer workers around. She found a young woman at the customer service counter and said, "Excuse me, I would like a refund for this milk, please. The expiration date already passed when I bought it." The worker looked surprised for a second, then checked the date on the bottle and said, "You're absolutely right. I'm so sorry about that." Let me refund this for you right away. Maria said, "Thank you so much. I appreciate it." And just like that, in less than 2 minutes, using words she had practiced, Maria solved a problem that, 8 months ago, would have made her feel completely this stuck and voiceless. This is the real power of what we're doing here today. It's not about memorizing a textbook. It's about being ready, in your body and in your mouth, for the exact moment when you need these words the most. Now, let's keep building on Maria's story, because there's one more situation I want you to walk through with her, because it happens to almost every single person living in America sooner or later. This time, it's not about a wrong price or an expired product. This time, it's about something a little more stressful, a store's return policy. About 2 weeks after the milk situation, Maria decided to buy a winter coat. Winter was coming, and she didn't own anything warm enough for the cold weather in her new city. She went to a clothing store in a shopping mall, tried on a few coats, and finally chose a dark green one that fit her well and felt warm. She paid for it, took her receipt, and went home feeling satisfied with her purchase. But a few days later, her sister, who had lived in the United States much longer, told her that store is actually having a much bigger sale right now. The same coat is probably cheaper this week. Maria felt a small pinch of regret. She decided to go back to the store to see if she could either get the difference refunded or return the coat and buy it again at the lower price. This is where things become a little more complicated and a little more real, because return policies are not always simple. Some stores give you your money back in cash. Some stores only give you store credit. Some stores require the item to have tags still attached. And if you don't know the right questions to ask, you might walk away confused, or worse, you might walk away with nothing, even if you had every right to a refund or an adjustment. Maria walked into the store and found a worker near the fitting rooms. She said, "Excuse me, I bought this coat last week, and I noticed it's on sale now for a lower price. Is there anything you can do?" The worker said, "Let me check with my manager. One moment, please." This is another very useful sentence for you to remember, so let's practice it together right now. Listen first. Is there anything you can do? Now, shadow it with me. Is there anything you can do? One more time, a bit slower and clearer. Is there anything you can do? This sentence works in so many situations, not just shopping. It works at the doctor's office, at a repair shop, even when you're dealing with a bill that seems too high. It's a polite, simple way to ask someone to help solve your problem. The manager came over and looked at Maria's receipt. He said, "I see you bought this 5 days ago. Our policy allows a price adjustment within 7 days. I can refund you the difference right now." Maria felt her shoulders relax. She said, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate that." The manager processed the refund back onto her card, gave her a new receipt showing the adjusted price, and said, "Is there anything else I can help you with today?" Maria said. No, that's all. Thank you. And she left the store, once again having protected her own money, using nothing but clear, simple English and a calm, confident voice. Now, I want to teach you 3 more essential words that connect directly to this kind of situation. Because return policy, price adjustment, and store credit are words you will hear again and again while living in America. Let's go through them the same way as before. Word first, then you repeat, then a simple meaning, then examples. Then your turn. Word number 6, return policy. Repeat after me, return policy. Again, return policy. A return policy is the store's rule about what happens if you want to bring something back. Whether you can get your money back or exchange it for something else. For example, what is your return policy for shoes? Another example, I always check the return policy before I buy something expensive. Now you try. Make a question using the phrase return policy. Imagine you are standing in a store right now. Word number 7, price adjustment. Repeat after me. Price adjustment. Again, price adjustment. A price adjustment is when a store gives you back the difference in money if an item you bought becomes cheaper soon after you bought it. Soon after you bought it. For example, can I get a price adjustment since this went on sale? Another example, the manager gave me a price adjustment of $10. Now, your turn. Try to build your own sentence. Imagine the item went on sale 2 days after you bought it. Word number 8, store credit. Repeat after me. Store credit. Again, store credit. Store credit means the store gives you money back, but you can only use it inside that same store, not as cash in your hand. For example, they gave me store credit instead of cash. Another example, can I get a refund or only store credit? Now you try. Ask a worker in your imagination whether they offer cash back or only store credit. Wonderfully. You're doing wonderfully. Let's pause here for a moment, and I want you to notice how your mouth feels right now. If you've been saying these sentences out loud with me, even quietly, your mouth muscles are starting to remember these shapes, these sounds. This is exactly how real fluency begins. Not from silently reading, but from speaking again and again until it becomes automatic. Now, let's move into a different kind of practice. This next part is called pattern drill. Instead of learning full stories, we're going to take simple sentence patterns and quickly practice many different versions of them, one after another, fast. This trains something called muscle memory, meaning your mouth learns to produce these patterns without you even thinking about the grammar. Ready? Let's go. Our first pattern is, can I? This is one of the most useful patterns in all of English, especially for shopping and daily errands. Listen to these examples and repeat each one after me quickly. Can I get a refund? Repeat. Can I get a refund? Next. Can I try this on? Repeat. Can I try this on? Next. Can I use this coupon? Repeat. Can I use this coupon? Next. Can I pay with cash? Repeat. Can I pay with cash? Next, can I speak to the manager? Repeat. Can I speak to the manager? See how the pattern stays the same. Can I? And only the ending changes. This is a powerful trick. Once you know this pattern deeply, you can create hundreds of new sentences on your own just by changing the last few words. Our second pattern is I need. Listen and repeat quickly. I need a bigger size. Repeat. I need a bigger size. Next. I need a different color. Repeat. I need a different color. Next. I need some help, please. Repeat. I need some help, please. Next. I need to return this item. Repeat. I need to return this item. Next. I need a receipt for this. Repeat. I need a receipt for this. Excellent. Notice how confident and direct this pattern sounds. I need is not rude, it's simply clear, and clear communication is exactly what you need in a busy store. Our third pattern is where is? This one helps you find things quickly, without wasting time walking around a big store feeling lost. Listen and repeat. Where is the checkout? Repeat. Where is the checkout? Next. Where is the restroom? Repeat. Where is the restroom? Next. Where is the customer service desk? Repeat. Where is the customer service desk? Next. Where is the exit? Repeat. Where is the exit? Next. Where is aisle 3? Repeat. Where is aisle 3? Perfect. Now you have a fast way to ask for directions inside any store, big or small. Our fourth and final pattern for today is how much does? This pattern is essential anywhere you shop because prices are not always clearly shown, especially for services or items without visible tags. Listen and repeat. How much does this cost? Repeat. How much does this cost? Next. How much does shipping cost? Repeat. How much does shipping cost? Next. How much does the repair cost? Repeat. How much does the repair cost? Next. How much does a refund take in days? Repeat. How much does a refund take in days? Wonderful work. Let's do one more full round. Mixing all 4 patterns together randomly, so your brain has to react quickly, just like in real conversation. Are you ready? Listens, then repeat as fast as you comfortably can. Can I return this without a receipt? Repeat. I need to speak to someone about a refund. Repeat. Where is the return counter? Repeat. How much does this jacket cost on sale? Repeat. Can I use 2 coupons together? Repeat. I need a different size, please. Repeat. Where is the pharmacy section? Repeat. How much does a refund take? Repeat. Beautiful. You just completed a full fast pattern round, mixing 8 different real-life sentences. If you did that out loud, even quietly, give yourself real credit because that is genuine speaking practice, not just passive listening. Now, I want to bring you back to Maria one final time because there's a small, warm ending to her story that I think you'll enjoy, and it connects everything we practice today. A few months after the coat situation, Maria went shopping again. This time with a new coworker from her job, a woman named Diane, who was born in the United States and spoke English as her first language. They walked through a store together, and at one point, Diane picked up a blender that looked interesting, but there was no price tag visible anywhere on the box. Diane turned to Maria and said, half joking, "Do you know how much this is? I can't find the tag." And without even thinking about it, without feeling nervous or searching for words in her head, Maria simply said, "Let's ask. Come on," and walked confidently toward a nearby worker. She said, "Excuse me, how much does this blender cost?" "We can't find a price tag." The worker checked her handheld scanner and told them the price. Diane looked at Maria, a little surprised, and said, "Wow, you just do that so naturally now." Maria smiled and said, "It wasn't always like this. I used to be scared to ask anything." Diane said, "Well, you'd never know it now." That moment right there, that small, quiet moment in a random store aisle, holding a blender, that is what real English fluency actually looks like. It's not about giving a perfect speech. It's not about sounding like a movie star. It's about being able to ask a simple, useful question in a real moment, without fear freezing your voice in your throat. And that kind of fluency comes from exactly what we've been doing together today. Listening, repeating, practicing real situations, and training your mouth and your brain to work together automatically under a little bit of pressure. Let's take a short moment to review everything you've learned so far in this lesson before we move to your final practice round. You learned the word receipt, the piece of paper that proves what you bought. You learned refund, getting your money back. You learned aisle, the path between shelves in a store. You learned the phrase on sale, meaning a lower price for a short time. You learned expiration date, the last safe day to use something. You learned return policy, the store's rules about bringing items back. You learned price adjustment, getting money back if a price drops. And you learned store credit, money you can only use inside that same store. You also practiced 4 incredibly powerful sentence patterns. Can I? For asking permission or making requests. I need? For expressing what you require clearly. Where is? For finding locations quickly. And how much does? For asking about cost. These 8 words and 4 patterns together form a strong foundation, a survival toolkit for almost any shopping situation you might face here in America. Before we close today's lesson, I want to give you one more challenge, a real one, not just something to say in this video, but something to actually do in your real life this week. The next time you go shopping, anywhere, a grocery store, a pharmacy, a clothing shop, I want you to intentionally ask at least one question out loud to a worker using one of the patterns we practiced today. It could be as simple as, "Where is the checkout?" or "How much does this cost?" It doesn't need to be complicated. The goal is not perfection. The goal is action. Every single time you speak English in a real situation, Even with small mistakes, you are building the exact kind of confidence that Maria built. Slowly, moment by moment, store by store, receipt by receipt, let's continue Maria's journey with one more real-life moment. Because I think this last story will stick with you the most since it involves something almost everyone has felt. The fear of being rushed, of not having enough time to think, while someone is waiting for you to speak. It was a rainy Thursday evening, close to 8 o'clock, and Maria remembered she needed to buy a birthday gift for her nephew before the party the next day. She rushed into a small store near her apartment, one she hadn't visited before, and she only had about 15 minutes before it closed. The store was smaller than the supermarket she usually went to, with narrower aisles and shelves stacked high with toys, books, and small electronics. She walked quickly, scanning the shelves, but she couldn't find the specific toy her nephew wanted, something she had seen advertised online. Time was ticking, and she felt her chest tightened a little, that familiar feeling of pressure that comes when you're in a hurry, and everything feels slightly out of control. She saw a store worker near the front, restocking a shelf, and she knew she needed to ask for help right now, or she would leave the store empty-handed. She walked over and said, "Excuse me, I'm looking for a remote control car, the blue one. Do you have it?" The worker paused, thought for a second, and said, "Let me check in the back. We might have one more." Maria said, "Thank you. I really appreciate it. The store closes soon, and I need it for tomorrow." The worker nodded and walked to the back room. Those next 2 minutes felt very long to Maria. She stood near the counter, watching the clock on the wall, hoping, finally, the worker came back holding a box. He said, "You're in luck. This was the last one." Maria felt an enormous wave of relief wash over her. She said, "Oh, thank you so much. You have no idea how happy this makes me." The worker smiled and said, "No problem. Happy to help. Would you like it gift wrapped? We have a small station near the counter." Maria hadn't even thought of that, and she said, "Yes, please. That would be wonderful." Let's pause here and shadow 2 very useful sentences from this part of the story. Sentences that are polite, warm, and show real gratitude, something that goes a long way in any culture, especially here. Listen first. "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it." Now, repeat with me. "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it." One more time, with warmth in your voice. "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it." Next sentence. Listen, "You have no idea how happy this makes me." Repeat. "You have no idea how happy this makes me." These sentences aren't just useful, they're also emotionally warm. And native English speakers respond very positively when you express genuine appreciation like this. It builds connection, not just communication. At the counter, the worker began wrapping the gift, and while he worked, he asked Maria, "Is this a birthday gift?" Maria said, "Yes, for my nephew. He's turning 6 tomorrow. The worker said, "That's sweet. I'm sure he'll love it." As he finished wrapping, he scanned the box and said, "Okay, that'll be $19.99. Do you have a store rewards card? By any chance? You'd save $2 today." Maria said, "No, I don't have one. But is it free to sign up?" The worker said, "Yes, completely free. Just takes a minute." Maria said, "Okay, sure. Let's do that. Thank you for telling me." This little moment matters a lot because it shows something important. Real conversations don't always go in the direction you expect. Sometimes, a worker offers you something extra, a discount, a piece of information you didn't ask for, and you need to be ready to respond naturally, not just recite memorized lines. Let's practice this kind of flexible response together. Listen to this question. Do you have a rewards card by any chance? Now, imagine you don't have one, but you're curious. Try saying out loud, in your own words, a similar response to what Maria said. Something like, "No, I don't. But is it free?" Try it now. Pause the video if you need a moment and say it out loud. Maria signed up quickly using her phone number, got her $2 discount, paid the remaining amount with her card, and walked out of the store just as the worker was turning the sign on the door from open to closed. She made it with less than 5 minutes to spare. Gift in hand, wrapped beautifully, ready for her nephew's birthday party the next day. As she walked to her car in the rain, she felt something she hadn't expected to feel over something as small as buying a toy. Pride. Real, quiet pride, the kind that builds slowly, situation after situation, conversation after conversation. Now, let's bring together everything from Maria's 3 stories. Today, the shampoo and the wrong price, the expired milk, the coat and the price adjustment, and finally, the birthday gift under time pressure. In every single one of these situations, notice something they all have in common. Maria faced a moment of stress, a moment where staying silent would have cost her money, time, or a special moment for someone she loves. And in every single situation, she used simple, clear English, not perfect English, not complicated English, just clear, direct, polite English to solve her problem. This is the entire philosophy behind Practical English for Life in America, and specifically this new series, American Survival English for Beginners. We are not trying to make you sound like a news anchor. We are not trying to give you a perfect British or American accent. We are trying to give you exactly what you need. In your pocket. Ready to use. The moment life throws a real situation at you, whether that's a wrong price, an expired product, a store policy question, or simply asking where something is before the store closes. Let's do one final, complete pattern round, combining everything from today's lesson. Moving a little faster now, because I know your brain and your mouth are warmed up after all this practice. I'll give you a situation, and you respond out loud using what we learned today. Ready? Situation 1. You think you were charged the wrong price. What do you say? Pause and answer now. A strong answer would be, "Excuse me, can you check the price of this, please?" Situation 2. You want your money back for a returned item. What do you say? Pause and answer. A strong answer would be, "I would like a refund for this, please." Situation 3. You can't find something in the store. What do you say? Pause, answer. A strong answer would be, "Excuse me, which aisle has this, please?" Situation 4. You bought something and now it's cheaper. What do you say? Pause and answer. A strong answer would be, "Is there anything you can do? This item is on sale now for less." Situation 5. You're in a hurry and need help finding a specific item. What do you say? Pause and answer. A strong answer would be, "Excuse me, I'm looking for this. Do you have it?" How did that feel? If you paused and said these answers out loud, even quietly, even with small mistakes, that is real, active practice, and it matters far more than silently reading words on a screen. Your mouth is a muscle, just like any other muscle in your body, and muscles only grow stronger through repeated use, not through watching someone else use them. Let's do a final, when gentle listening and shadowing round. One more time, nice and slow. Reviewing the core sentences from today's entire lesson so they settle deeply into your memory before we finish. Listen, then repeat, calmly, clearly. Excuse me, can you check the price of this, please? Repeat, I would like a refund for this, please. Repeat, which aisle has the shampoo, please? Repeat, is it on sale this week? Repeat, can I have my receipt, please? Repeat, what is your return policy? Repeat, can I get a price adjustment? Repeat, do you offer store credit? Repeat, where is the customer service desk? Repeat, how much does this cost? Repeat, wonderful. You just reviewed 10 essential, real-world sentences. Sentences that Maria herself used across 3 completely different situations in 3 completely different stores over several months of her life here in America. Now, I want you to think about something for a moment before we close today's lesson. 8 months ago, Maria couldn't confidently ask a cashier to check a price. She felt nervous just walking up to a stranger and speaking English out loud. But little by little, situation by situation, mistake by mistake, practice session by practice session, she built something powerful inside herself. Not perfect English, not flawless grammar. Something much more valuable. The confidence to speak up, even when she wasn't 100% sure of every word. Even when her heart was beating a little faster than usual. And that is exactly what I want for you. Next time you're standing at a checkout counter and the total on the screen looks wrong, I want you to remember this lesson. Remember Maria. Remember these exact words. And I want you to speak up calmly, clearly, and confidently. Next time you find an expired product after you've already paid for it, I want you to remember that going back to ask for a refund is not rude. It's simply your right, and you now have exactly the words you need to do it politely and effectively. Next time a store has a return policy or a price adjustment, and you're not sure how it works, I want you to remember you can always ask, "Is there anything you can do?" That single sentence alone has the power to save you real money again and again. For the rest of your life here, let's quickly review the full toolbox you built today. One final time so it stays fresh in your mind. You learned 8 essential words: receipt, refund, aisle, on sale, expiration date, return policy, price adjustment, and store credit. You practiced 4 powerful sentence patterns you can use to build hundreds of your own sentences. Can I need, where is, and how much does. And you walked through 3 real, emotional, high-pressure situations with Maria, feeling exactly what she felt and learning exactly what she said to solve each problem successfully. This is what makes today's lesson different from a simple vocabulary list. Wow! You didn't just memorize words in isolation. You lived through real moments filled with a little bit of fear, a little bit of pressure, and ultimately a strong feeling of relief and pride when the right words came out at exactly the right time. That emotional connection is what makes language stick in your memory far longer than any flashcard or textbook page ever could. So here is your homework, your real challenge for this week, not for this video, but for your actual life. The next time you go shopping, anywhere at all, I want you to speak at least one full sentence out loud to a worker using something we practiced today. It doesn't have to be a big problem. It doesn't need to be dramatic like Maria's stories. It can be as simple as asking, "Where is the checkout, please?" Or, "Is this on sale?" Every single time you choose to speak, instead of staying silent, you are training your brain and your mouth to work together automatically, exactly the way Maria's did. After months of small, consistent practice, thank you so much for spending this time with me today, practicing real, practical English for real. Everyday life here in America, I know it's not always easy. Learning a new language while also building a new life in a new country. But I truly believe that every single word you speak, every single sentence you push yourself to say out loud, even with mistakes, even with an accent, is a step forward, a step toward the confidence and independence you deserve to feel every single day. If today's lesson helped you, please consider subscribing to EFL USA so you never miss our daily survival English lessons. In our next episode, we're going to dive into a completely different and incredibly important sub-niche: English for work and job interviews, where you'll learn exactly what to say when someone asks you the dreaded question, "Tell me about yourself." I promise you, it will be just as practical, just as real, and just as useful as today's lesson. Until then, take care of yourself. Be proud of every word you speak, and I'll see you in the next lesson.